So the first slide really is around the idea of being proactive, right? And I think that comes from, in our experience, just asking questions and not making it about the money, right? I think a lot of parents might want to keep that close to their vest, and versus taking an approach that I've seen work well with some clients is seeking to understand, and obviously not to be critical, but some good questions to ask around hey, mom and dad, what are your goals and objectives? What do you want to have happen? Paint a picture for me. And many times it'll be, well, I want it to all go to the kids or grandkids, but better to find that out up front. And, other questions around, do you have any special bequests or charitable intent? I think many people do, but they either don't get to it or don't put it into their legal documents, which, by the way, we'll walk through that. What are some prudent documents to have in place, and making sure some of those things are in place long before they're ever needed. And I think another good question is, to their parents, do you know who their trusted advisors are? Do they have an accounting firm or a law firm or a financial advisory firm that they're working with that might have some of this organized? For our clients, we use technology to try to bring together all pieces of their financial world, from their assets, their liabilities, to their legal documents. And that takes some proactive work to do that. So I think just some of those basic questions, and I'll get into a few more questions as we get into like roles as an executor and things like that. But I can think of some client stories. I have one that I was just meeting with that almost 18 months later, they're still finding stock certificates. I think with that generation, that's one kind of high level thing to ask is, where is everything located? And again, I'll get into some of that, but and other things is trying to understand what types of accounts mom and dad have, right? What is the tax implication to them during their life, and what's the tax implication of the beneficiaries? We see people come in and they're inheriting these accounts, and there could be some tax implications. So trying to find that out in advance. And then I think there's also the emotional attachment to deal with it. We've had clients come in and say, I inherited this from mom and dad, and even though it might be the best thing to do is to sell the asset or exchange it for something, there's an emotional attachment there. So trying to get to the bottom of that as well.